Coming to you from the historic Hart Building in Marysville, California, in Studio 93, in the Tank with Fish, with your host, Bob Fischetti.
Dogs don't die, they live on, farm in the sky, acres to roam, cloud for a bed, down at God's feet, forever fed, favorite trees.
All right, well, this could be an episode of In the Tank with Fish, but we are not in the tank. We are out of the tank, and so it's not that, but...
Are we getting tanked?
We're getting tanked. What are you guys drinking, right? And so I have with me on my left I forget what I call him. He's the editor, the inimitable editor of the Appeal Democrat. And on my right is Congressman Tyler Rich.
Finally, somebody calls me by my first name.
Oh.
I've been waiting a long time for that.
Anyway, we're just going to be talking about things. We're going to ask Tyler about some upcoming event he'll be involved in and whatever else that we're going to ask. So what I'm going to do is, because the editor of the Appeal is like waiting, he just can't wait, Tyler, to really ask you this important question. So with your permission, sir, I'm just going to let him go.
Let's have it.
Well, I wasn't going to lead with that, but I will. I do have a two-word question for you. John Cassidy.
That's an important two-word question. There's many outlets and facets to that story and answer. John Cassidy is the best. He's the best. This is my 9th time getting to do the event here in town. It all started with him bugging me. And
Relentlessly, I assume.
Sort of a casual outing here, but nonetheless appropriate.
So how did you get hooked into the event?
Cassidy and I had met. Honestly, it's, we've been friends for like a decade now. I don't really remember the first time we met, but I do believe he was bugging me about the event in a non-bugging way, right? Correct. He told me all about it. I had heard about it through the community and stuff. I had not already lived here for probably about a decade at this point in the community, and I had seen it before. And I think maybe social media and stuff, you'd shown me things, and then like, it was awesome this year. We had this person. It was awesome. We had Paul, like all these things. He's like, we got to do it. And I was, anytime I can play in the community is awesome. And we had done, like the I'm going to mess this up. I'm going to not sound like a local. Peach Festival.
Just had that.
It is. Okay. First, I was hoping it was, I knew it was peach. I just couldn't remember if it was festival for a second or
well,
if I was
actually, at one point they called it, well, they've changed the name. At one point it was called the California Peach Festival. Now it's just referred to as the Marysville Peach Festival. So it's okay.
Got it. Okay. Cool. That's good. But the two words I said still didn't change, so I shouldn't have questioned it. Yeah, it's great. But like right out here on the street, and we'd done the Yuba Center Fair and different things, like once a summer, give or take. And he's like, let's switch that up. Come play it out at Peachtree instead of the festival. Let's do it. And obviously it was amazing. It was so much fun. And I think so much of my success in this area in Northern California to John. I can do all I can on my own, promoting, playing shows in Sacramento. I grew up in, rock bands playing all over this place, around this town, Marysville, etc. And, but it wasn't until I started doing the event I truly felt that I was just, engulfed by the community. The big old John Cassidy hug. And if you know his arms, it is the entire community.
Yeah.
So that wasn't such a bad question then, was it?
Yeah. This picture, I was already giving him crap about the super high resolution of these pictures. This might be the better of them, but this says it all. This was a couple years ago. Just fist bumping John from the front with a couple thousand people behind him, and it's just so cool. I'm super out of focus. He's very HD.
Of course he is.
No, yeah.
I just want to tell people, John's actually sitting just off camera. So it's not, there's nothing we're going to say that we wouldn't say to his face. His face is right here.
We should acknowledge, he arranged this sitting today at the City Cafe with Tyler. And so John likes to arrange things, likes to put people together.
Yeah.
So, back up, you talked about how coming to the event, you'd been not living in the community for about 10 years. Back up to your story here. So you were born here and raised here, went to school here. Where'd you go to school and all that?
So I started at April Lane, and then I went to Lindcrest, and then I went to AK,
Okay.
and then I knew I went to AK for junior high. I was just wondering if there were, Terra Buena.
Yeah.
That was the one in between.
Okay.
I went to Terra Buena, and then I went to AK, and then I went to Yuba City High School, and then I went to Yuba College, then I went to Sac State.
Okay.
Yeah. You would think I was in the military based off of how much I moved, but
Yeah.
only in one little community, so not.
I thought I was bad. I went to 4 different high schools. You
Yeah.
were like traveling around.
It was really cool though, growing up, because we moved a few times, obviously based off the schooling and whatnot. And in those times moving, by the time I made it to high school, I knew, because you go from junior high or elementary school, if you go all the way through 8th, and you get to high school and you still just have your friends you went to school with.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas then when I got to high school, I knew people from all over because I went to school in so many different places.
Right, yeah.
And so it was a really cool reconnecting experience in high school for me to get to see, because this is before social media or anything, so all of a sudden I'm seeing all these old friends from elementary school and stuff. And it was awesome. I went, as soon as I graduated high school, I was working at Red Robin right down the street, and this guy Vince came in and he's like, I saw you play some of those bands in high school, because we'd play in the quad and like all that stuff. He's like, I started this band and we're looking for a guitar player. And so I went and tried out, and then
Vince wasn't a bass player, was he?
no, he was a drummer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know a bass. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, and so I went and joined that band. Eventually the singer and I became the 2 guitar player joint singers. He had a raspy kind of yelling, screaming voice. It was like Warped Tour music.
Okay.
Screamo, emo, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. And then we got a record deal after 6 months, and I was 19, and it was really cool getting to buy it here, but every FYE in the country, every Best Buy, they all had our CD for some reason. And we toured. We started touring forever, and it was a lot of fun. It was very surreal and crazy, especially when I was 18 and then 19 on the road.
So actually, I know we're going to talk about the event, and I want to talk about that, but
You need to speak up. Sorry.
is it working? Okay. So anyway, I want to talk to you about this, right? And that song, which you kill people with that song. It's just so.
Kill myself with that song.
Huh?
I kill myself with that song.
So what song are we talking about?
Dogs don't die. And it's like that is I don't know anybody. If you're not moved by that, there's something wrong with you, not the song, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, can you tell me the inspiration behind it?
Yeah.
Was it your dog?
Yeah, when I was 19, I rescued a dog she was living out in a farm in Live Oak, and she was in a really bad situation, and it was a true form of rescuing a dog through a family friend. They asked, basically my ex-girlfriend's dad was like, hey, I know you love huskies, you've always wanted one. I have an interesting situation where my friend thinks that the husband is probably going to kill this dog. She's only 5 months old. And so super brave and dumb, at 3 a.m, a friend and I drove out to this farm. For sure should have got shot. Went out there. She had broken into all these cages and killed all these chickens and rabbits and ducks and stuff on this farm. And so the guy had dug a huge, telling my story, he's going to find me all these years later, dug this huge hole that she was in while he was fixing all the cages in her kennel and stuff. And he said she was going to stay in there until he got it figured out. But she had been in the hole for 3 weeks.
Wow.
And so 3 a.m, give or take, I went out there with my best friend and crawled down into this hole and covered in her poop. So was I at this point. We got real close real fast.
Yeah.
Pulled her out of this hole, and right next to the hole was her leash. She was a purebred they had shipped from Georgia. Her paperwork, all this stuff the wife put next to this hole in the middle of the night. And we took Abby home, and she was my dog until 2 years ago. I had her for 17 and a half years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so I wrote Dogs Don't Die probably almost about a year before she passed. I knew she deserved a song, and I didn't want to write it after I knew the inevitable was going to happen, because I didn't want to write a sad dog song. I wanted to write an uplifting song about dogs and what they do to us and how they stay with us forever. And it feel upbeat and hopeful and inspiring. And turns out that doesn't help. It's still sad.
Yeah.
It's still real sad.
It might have helped with the process of the writing, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you got the song out.
Yeah.
I tell people I had a few dogs when I was a kid, but I got this dog that it was a run of the litter, and long story short, had him for 18 years, and when he died, that was it. You know how they say you have the love of your life?
Yeah.
Well, he was a dog of my life, and since then, honestly, Tyler, I've tried. I can't own another dog.
Yeah.
I just can't do it. It's like,
tough.
man, you get connected, that's it. You know?
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's like, so I might have to try doing the rescue thing just so I can do it. But
I think you could do it. I think you could do it. Yeah.
You mentioned your grandfather in that song. In his voice, was that about the dogs? What he says about the?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the line in it. So the Dogs Don't Die is the song, but I just released the children's book last week, just as a way to help kids get through it as well. And in the book, it has that line about Grandpa. I'm trying to. If only I could hear the melody in my head of the song right now. We write and sing a lot of songs.
Well, but your grandpa's giving you perspective.
That man's best friend means till the end of time. In the book, I say, Grandpa said that man's best friend means till the end of time. But in the song, I think it's a different line where he says, she's just scratching at heaven's door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, so the book, Mary Langsdorff wanted me to ask about the book.
Yeah.
And how that's going, how the sales going, how the reaction to it.
Yeah, it's going really well. It's earlier this year, I guess probably like January, February, I came up with the idea to write Dogs Don't Die. And I wanted, because I lost so many dogs when I was growing up, and you just kind of go through it. And so for some reason, the idea hit me of, can you get a kid to listen to a song and understand it? Can you get a kid a book and help them through this process? And my favorite part about the book, at the end, I did a little interactive page, and it says, write your dog's name here, write or draw a picture of blank here. So the kid can draw a picture of the dog. What do you still see? What do you still smell? What do you still hear? Because that's what the whole book is about, is all the things that you still, your sensory overload of things that never leave you. And it's been awesome. I mean, I'm not an author, right? So releasing a book just out into the wild, especially a niche kind of book, for me, I wanted to put this one out because I knew fans and friends, people I know, and people in the community and stuff would buy it, just in general because they know my music or they know me and I wrote a book. But it's not necessarily a book that every kid's going to run out with their parents and want to buy. It's a very niche, momentary topic, and so the goal was put it out first to splash the water of, Tyler wrote a kid's book, so that when my second and third ones come out, which are not niche topics, they're very much like broad children's books, that it's not this like, what is Tyler doing? It's more of we're already familiar with this. This book is awesome too. This book's awesome too. Yeah.
We better ask about the event. Raises money for Sutter Animal Services and Yuba County Animal Services, and I know that previous events have benefited, like the police canine things. So you mentioned losing a lot of dogs growing up out in the country. I had the same experience. That's always hard. I never knew I was going to be getting close to a dog. Where do you see yourself as a country artist or a children's book author? What do you see yourself as, and where did the dog stuff come from? I mean, I know you have a rescue operation that you do, right?
Yeah.
You still doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll forever be the musician, right? That's all I've ever been is a musician. And I just wanted to do something different on the same side of my brain where the art comes from that would kind of inspire me and give me I've been having so much fun doing this whole double album, having creative freedom again, getting to record the songs I want and how I want them to sound and all this stuff. It's been really, really cool. And so in this process, I just felt inspired to dig into a different artistic side and kind of see where it took me. And I've had so much fun writing these 3 books that I'm toying. I wouldn't say I'm toying with the idea. I've already kind of have it mapped out, but terrifying of writing an actual book, which is a whole nother story. But my love for dogs and everything, I don't know. I just being a kid growing up with a lot of dogs in the house and super close with my grandparents on both sides, and they always had dogs. And every other weekend growing up, I'd go out to Woodland and stay with my grandparents there. And I picked when I think I was like 4. I picked out their dog at the pound.
Wow.
And so I just always had this really deep connection to pups for some reason. And so when we on tour, probably 2019, I think is when it started, was Rich Rescues, or maybe 2018. When you're on the road 24/7, everybody's always like, "Oh, you're in this city. What'd you do? Did you go here? Did you do this? Do that?" Usually the answer is like, "When would we have time to do that?" I would love to.
Yeah.
And somebody the other day, we were playing in upstate New York, and they wrote me and they're like, "Hey, you're coming to my city. You got to go to this comedy club. It's the best. You got to do this. It's the best." And I was like, "Thank you so much for the recommendations. When and how am I going to go to a comedy show tonight?" Right? It's like you don't really have time to do stuff in these cities, but you do have time to explore a little bit. And when you are in these cities, your fans from those places, your social media is heightened from their views because they want to see like, "Oh, did Tyler and the band go to my favorite coffee shop? Did they go to my favorite park? What are they doing in my town?" And so I was like, what a perfect opportunity to force feed them animals that need help.
Yeah.
And so we started visiting shelters while we were in these cities, knowing that most of my views on my stories and all these things are people from that town that day. And just showing them animals that need rescue, animals that need walks, animals that need, like even just showing them amazing things that people in their community are doing that they might not know about. And, a lot of people get scared of the idea of adopting and rescuing and fostering because they live in an apartment. And it's like, I had Abby, my husky, in apartments until she only lived in a house with me the last 2 years of her life. I was in apartments forever, right? And she was as happy as you could ever be. And dogs don't know space. They do know what it's like to be in a cage, but an apartment's awesome. And so just inspiring fans and even people at the venues to ways they can help, even if it's just going and walking dogs, helping feed the dogs one day, that kind of stuff. Also cats. We love cats. We love, there's all sorts of rescue animals at all these different places. And really, really cool experience since we started it. It has created a different bond with fans and I because when we've done like meet and greets at shelters instead of the venues, like that kind of stuff. And we've brought dogs to venues the same way instead of the humans to the dogs. We brought the dogs to the humans. And when fans do adopt these dogs, it just creates such a cool bond with them and myself.
Well, they feel a connection with you. They keep in touch.
They keep in touch. They give me like progress photos of, because sometimes, we always promote the whole program, but mostly it's like, "Hey, this is Charlie that's got 3 legs, but he's the fastest dog in the shelter. This is Jeff, and he's been returned 3 times because he doesn't like cats." We're like these type of things. And this dog's been through the shelter cycle for 10 years, and so that inspires people to want to help a little more than look at this adorable puppy that's here. And so we get a lot of like update photos and videos from these families and their dogs and stuff.
That's awesome.
And then the event, when it first started, we were raising money for the canine unit. because there was Gunnar, who was the award-winning Belgian Malinois, just beast of an officer, and raising money to literally try to train replacement gunners because he was going to be retiring soon. And then we also raised money for, it's called TIPS.
Yeah.
Trauma, and just so many amazing programs in the community that is very cool to be a part of. I say this happily and politely, it is a stressful night for me in the best way possible because I get to see everybody, I get to meet new people. I have to really prepare my energy for a few days leading up to it because I am on for like hours straight, but it's the best. We look forward to it every year. And like I said, it's such a huge part of why people say hi to me when I'm at Target here. Why people, like little things like that,
Or they think you're the busboy and they ask you for water.
Oh, I thought that was a Red Robin joke.
Would you
It was because of this.
Could be, right? I did have a lady tell me at the restaurant, she said, I knew Tyler Rich when she was a manager of a bank and your band played at an event they had for the bank employees. And she said it was years ago, right? But she remembered that. And it's like, so there are people that live here that your connection with them, even though you're pretty young when you went on the road and, now you don't live here, but it's really awesome, Tyler, that you come back because people get to reconnect. There is that. And then the connecting with the animals. I do want to say this, about this book. When I was a pastor, I had Mother Goose Preschool. And basically be on private ed. And parents all the time would come and say, hey, we lost our family dog. Pastor, what do we do? And I think, here's the answer right here.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you're a family out there and you see this, and inevitably, we usually outlive our dogs, here's a great opportunity because it is hard to explain to children things. They just know all of a sudden they're not there, and you have to unwind that. So, man, thank you for putting that together. I can speak from a platform of saying this is something that's needed. It's not just a clever idea.
Yeah.
This is needed. It's needed. Parents, you need this book.
Yeah.
So it's not just don't wait till something happens with the dog, right? Get the book now.
The book.
There's my shameless hustling of your book, but
thank you.
With good reason for it,
I guess it's not momentary, it's get it ahead of time.
When you
so
said
you
that
have it
out,
the second you need it. You don't have to wait a couple days for shipping.
Yep.
Smart. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate that.
The touring, and you talked about the energy and all that, and they're living in apartments and all the you have an album named after the distance between the airports and all that. What is it about touring people don't understand? I mean,
it's a good question. I would say people think that we work for headlining. They think we work for 75 minutes a day. If we're opening a show, they think we work for 30, 40 minutes a day. And it is nonstop work. It's fun. I mean, it's amazing, right? What we get to do. But it is a grueling, there's nothing glorious about the travel. We will play a show and then by the time everything's loaded up and if say we're not, traveling by ground, if we're not we're in a bus sometimes, buses are super expensive. So a lot of times, we're in vans where you can't sleep and flying a lot because when you're playing in the Yuba cities across the country, there's no airports really, right? And so, and usually the Yuba cities across the country, which are a lot of places we play, the airport there is not a major airport, so you can't fly direct. And so for the most part, you play a show, you pack up. By the time you get to your hotel, if you're lucky, it's 2, 3 in the morning. And a lot of times you have to be up at 4:45, 5 to get to the airport. We're traveling with 8 guys and we have 22 huge cases we have to check. Sometimes that takes 30 minutes at the bag counter, so we have to get to the airport a couple hours before. we're talking on a good night, you sleep 2-3 hours at the hotel. It's more just a shower after the show, get a nap, and then you're on your first flight. You might get a 45-minute nap. Then you're at the airport for an hour and a half. Then you're on your second flight. You might get a 45-minute nap. As soon as you land, you go straight to the venue. You start loading in. You sound check, and that's over. You start meet and greets. You start VIP. Then the show starts. Then you
When
play.
do you have
then
time?
you just,
When do you have time to be the artist who's coming up with the next song? Or
the few days when you're home a week, for the most part. That's the cool thing about country is that in every other genre, they tour for a couple months, few months at a time, and they're just gone. Then they come back for a couple months, usually work, write, create, and then they go back out for a few months straight. Other genres play shows on Mondays, Tuesdays. It's very random. It doesn't matter. Whereas in the country crowd demographic is it's blue collar. It's the working man, right? And so it's, for the most part, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, sometimes a Wednesday, sometimes a Sunday. You're usually doing about 3 shows a week, give or take. So we are very lucky in this genre to get to be home for the most part, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. And that is when we write. That's when we do all that. And so, but that's also back in the day, that's when you just get to write. Now that's when you have to, because we're all marketing professionals now. So that's now when we have to figure out what's the content we're shooting all day. And then you have a whole day of sitting there editing. And I don't do any of that. You just have to learn and come up with cool ideas that'll make people, trick people into listening to your song online. And filming's fine. It's the editing that's it's brutal. And then, or you could hire somebody to do it, but it's a super expensive work when you need to be doing it every week. You should be posting content every single day, right? And it's a lot of work.
Told me that they said it's no longer the labels, it's marketing.
Yeah.
The whole thing in the music industry is now marketing.
Yeah.
That the old idea, the labels, has really dissipated. A lot to do with independent music. Mm-hmm. I do have a music question to ask you, right? And that is, you hear about all these songs that have just lived longer than you would expect, like Yesterday, the most covered song ever, right? And you always hear, oh, I wrote that in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you have a 5-minute song?
I've got 5 minutes is a lie, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, well, by the time the initial, I got it. Yeah.
When somebody, we wrote that song in 5 minutes, it just fell out. What that actually means is either you're at home and you're kind of just freestyling and just humming melodies, and you end up keeping most of those melodies and lyrics at the end of the day. But as far as an actual writing session, between conversation, hangs, talks about movies in between, the whole process is usually about 5 hours, give or take, to write a whole song. But there has been quite a few times, where once we landed on the idea and actually started cooking, that it was done within 25. Leave Her Wild is my biggest song that I wrote, probably in 30 minutes. But it was when you write so much, sometimes we write anywhere between 50 to 100 songs a year, right? And so it's a lot of times you have to sit there and think, what could I possibly want to write about today? Whereas back in the day, because it's such a numbers game now, back in the day, bands would go in and write 20 songs for a 12-song album, and they knew exactly what they wanted to talk about because they're writing about what they're feeling in that moment. But when you're writing so much, sometimes you sit there and be like, what can I channel from my past today that's going to give me something cool to write about? And Leave Her Wild was not one of those moments. It was I knew exactly what I wanted the song to be about, knew exactly the inspiration. I already felt it, and we just jumped in there. And sometimes you can feel that way, and you have the ideas, and you're ready, and then the other guys or girls in the room with you writing are not feeling that today, and then they bring something else up, and then you're like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then you kind of derail. But in those perfect serendipitous moments, you sit there and you're super passionate about it, and then they also are. Those are the moments where a 30-minute song pops out.
I had an opportunity to talk to, because I write, so I had an opportunity to send a song to John Elefante, and he had this GoFundMe thing or whatever they called it to do an album. So you send him your song, and then he'd look at it, and then he'd call you.
Cool.
Right? And I thought, well, this is good. I'd like to know if I can write, right? That's all I want to know. So I sent it anyway. Long story short, he's Italian. So we talked for 4 hours on the phone about mothers and places. Finally, he says, so I guess you want to know, can you write? I said, oh, yeah, John, I'd like to know that.
Yeah.
So, but that was one of those songs that just came like that, you know? And so that's why I asked that, because I hear this, different artists will say, it's like it came out of nowhere. I had this song, right? So you got a double album coming up, and I do want to ask you about that, right? So how many songs are going to be on that?
So so it's going to be 20 total.
Wow.
The first half came out in March. So originally,
Hello, California, right?
Hello, California. Yeah. Originally when I wanted to do this project, because I was able to get out of my record deal the top of last year. They had only put out 18 songs in 7 years, and it just was like suffocating, and felt like I didn't want to write music anymore because nobody was ever going to hear it. It just felt like felt trapped, all these things. And so when I got out, as a thank you to the fans, I was like, well, I'm going to give you guys 18 songs in 1 year. And what I was saying earlier about getting creative freedom again and control, and how it's kind of like a drug. As soon as I was in the studio doing everything I wanted to do again, it just turned into like, and I was like, we can't stop at 18. And it's just like, we got to keep going. Like, because then there's a couple more I wanted to do and all these things. And then it just turned into, all of a sudden I didn't want to release 18 songs or even 20 all at the same time in the spring, because as of right now, people would be like, cool, what's next? And so luckily we had come up with the idea to split it into two, because now when people are starting to feel like, all right, cool, what's next? Now we have a whole side B to this double album that's coming out.
You've already started releasing some songs that are going to be on the second album, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, so we released a song called When, early June, and then we released Summer of Us on 4th of July, announcing actually today that the pre-saves go live for a song called Lost Time that comes out this Thursday night, and then we're doing one more single release in a month. And then the other 6 that are not released, as the whole back half is coming out a month or 2 after that. And so it's, originally I wanted to call the entire album Leaving California. Which is named after a song, goes right back to my wife and I being long distance for 9 years. Mm-hmm. And because of her work, we still have an apartment in LA for her work. Our house is in Nashville, but she's there pretty much half the month. And Leaving California is all about, I've been in Nashville for 10 years. And so she's an actress. And so it's all about just wishing I could take all these things from LA and put them in Nashville so that I still didn't have to continually be leaving California over and over again. And so the album was gonna open with Hello California. It was gonna end with Leaving California, but it was gonna be called Leaving California. But then once we split it up, it's like, cool, well, it's still gonna open with Hello California, so let's just call it that. And this one's still gonna end with Leaving California, so let's just call it that. And about 2 months after that comes out, we're doing a deluxe. And it's gonna be called, this is local, it doesn't matter. I was like, we haven't said any of this stuff yet, but we did announce the Leaving California tour, but we haven't said that that's what the side B of the thing is called yet. It doesn't matter. It's all good. It's up hometown. But then when the deluxe comes out a couple months after that, it's going to have both of them together as one piece of art, with Dogs Don't Die as the B-side that came out in between the two. 2 additional new songs, and then a couple like acoustic versions, give or take. And we're gonna do vinyl. We're gonna do like the whole 9 yards.
I love vinyl.
Dude, I begged for vinyl for my album with my label forever. I'll put it in there.
Put the book in the vinyl. Come on.
Oh no, I can see this. No, I can see this as the.
Actually, you got my head spinning though. If we did
the label,
a vinyl where it's a single disc of just Dogs Don't Die.
Yeah.
The book inside.
Oh.
You're not getting a cut, but that's a great idea. No.
Well, that's how it's done, right? You just
Yeah, that's awesome. That's cool.
Give me credit by saying some dude in California.
Yeah. So
Some
guy named
dude,
Fish.
a friend of Cassidy.
Yeah.
What makes a country song?
Oh man, it's a good question. Nowadays, this is going to be a controversial answer. Not bad controversy, but nowadays, what makes a country song is if country radio and country playlists on streaming are playing it. Mm-hmm. Really. I mean, other than the ones that are obviously very clearly traditional based. When I think of country, I think of how the songs make me feel, what they're talking about, how relatable and storytelling to a real life person it is. Fiddles and steel guitar and stuff help, obviously, but there's plenty of country music lyrically that is more country than stuff that has fiddles that might have rock guitars. The cool thing with streaming is that it has really just merged every aspect of every genre ever into just full creative freedom and fun. And fans are going to find and listen to what they want to find and listen to regardless. And they're going to attach themselves to what they love. But I mean, country, it's just real life is the best way I think I can explain it. Makes you feel something, not just this is catchy. It makes you feel like you know the singer. It makes you feel like the singer knows you.
So Whiskey Go Bad, is that a banjo that I'm hearing on that, or is that?
It is a banjo. Yeah, it's it's country, man. There is steel guitar on almost every song on this album. It was a lot of fun to be able to go in and revisit my rock influences on this project and really revisit, my very much countryside in this project. And I have been a melting pot of genre my whole life from everything I've listened to, growing up, going to concerts of. And when you get a guitar or you decide you're going to be an artist, they say, cool, what's your genre going to be? And it's very, I don't know, that's a hard question when you're first, starting out, because when you love music in general and you listen to everything and you're inspired by everything, whatever falls out of you shouldn't have to have a label before you write it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're not going to lean a certain way, of course. I lean very much into country when I write songs. I was always in rock, but then when it came down to just me and my guitar, and I started writing songs like California Grown and those type of things, it was, once it came down to just me and my guitar, the first songs I ever learned on that acoustic and how to sing and stuff was like Garth Brooks and Creedence Clearwater and Tom Petty and everything from that rock country kind of molding world. And so, when it got back down to just the roots, and I was going through a breakup here, girl from Sutter, and I was just like, I'll write these songs about it. And I just naturally kind of fell into what I'm doing now. And it's cool to, all these years later, because I started this project like 11 years ago. And so all these years later, now to incorporate my other roots into it. Our show has always been very high energy and fun and rock elements to our show, even when we're playing easy listening pop country songs like Better Than You're Used To. We always bring it a little harder on stage and keep the energy up. And now I finally get to do that in the studio at the same time. So that's not like a huge surprise.
I always felt like the story, if there's no story, it doesn't have a country flavor. There's got to be a story.
Yeah.
How you wrap that story, what kind of music you use from all the different influences. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking for the hook. I'm looking for the story. Yeah. And the story's a hook for me, And so I love that. And on the radio even, we started picking up more country. This area is predominantly country and classic rock. And so there'd be songs I never heard of. I can't even tell you who the artist is, but there's one, If He Ever Singles You Up.
Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis. Yeah. And so it's a story, and you can follow the story. And there's a lot of them like that. And I think that's important. Mm-hmm. That may not be the core, but I do think people that like country look for that. And you'll hear the people, I like old country, I like new country. But it seems like the silver thread through all of it
Stories on.
There's a story there,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And you've had enough life and had that on the road as a young man, and just your experience. They tell you long distance relationships don't work. Well, yours apparently did, right? And so you have these experiences that I can't wait to see what you write now, because, like you said, you have a lot of freedom now. You get to write what we get to hear Tyler Rich in a different way.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important, right? Both for you and for your fans, right? It's like we get to hear Tyler Rich now.
Yeah, and the connection because of that has just skyrocketed with my fans. It's when Hello California, the whole side A came out, it because there are just real, when you're on a record label, they're chasing 2 country radio love songs a year, basically, right? And when they're also only releasing 2 to 3 songs a year, 7-8 years passes, and all of a sudden you realize your whole catalog kind of just sounds like the same thing they kept trying to chase for radio over and over and over again. And so all the songs I got to put out on this first half and then now this second half is, obviously there's a couple love songs and whatnot, but it's just life. It's just real things that real people go through. And because of that, the connection with fans has just been, astronomical. It's fans crying during shows. Like, I'm a Pisces. I cry all the time. It doesn't matter. If I wrote the song that is making somebody cry, there's a 99.8% chance I'm also crying on stage, right? And it's just like, it's just about loss and traveling and distance and hardship and happiness and hope
and the stories that go with them. So you were talking about your the whole someone asking you what genre you do, and you're talking about your very musical interest. I was gobsmacked. I went to a country concert and heard Michael Jackson.
Is that me?
Billie Jean?
Yeah.
Is you?
Is that me?
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
That what you did with that.
Thank you.
It's amazing. Yeah.
That was a cool, because right before I got my record deal, I was already living in Nashville, but I was flying out to between Vegas and then to Roanoke Park, like Santa Rosa. Mm-hmm. There's a casino out there that's owned by the same casino chain in Vegas. And I'd gotten a residency where I'd play 5 nights in a row in like a little smoky casino bar, just with an acoustic in a corner and nobody listening for like 4 hours a night, right? And I would do it 4 to 5 nights straight. And then I'd fly back to Nashville, write songs for 3 weeks, fly back out, make money, fly back out, write songs for a few weeks. And I never had to tell anybody about it. It was kind of like a moonlighting gig. I didn't have to promote the shows because it was just background music. It was the best. Well, it wasn't the best. It kind of sucked, but it was the best for what it was, right?
I'm your dinner music.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you turn that down, please?
I'm trying to eat here.
Yeah. And what you had to do in those scenarios is how do you get people trying to eat and drink and catch up with their friends to pay attention and tip you? And so I started, instead of just playing cover songs, I started diving into songs like, how would I write this song if it was mine? And Billie Jean was one that lyrically, I feel it's such a different song stuck in an iconic pop song's body. But the song itself, I felt was like this like sultry kind of bluesy country story. And so I did it that way, and I started getting like $100 tips and stuff. And then all of a sudden, flash forward, I got a record deal, and like, hey, you're gonna go on a radio tour, and it's 5 months, 5 days a week. You're gonna go to 3 different radio stations a day. You're gonna play a 30-minute set. You're gonna hang out with listeners for an hour. You're gonna go to the next one for 5 months straight. And
how come you didn't have 93Q on that list?
Sorry, I didn't map it. I didn't map it. If I did. And they're like, so basically you're going to play like 5 originals and you do 1 cover. And they're like, what do you want to do? And I sat there at this record label and like a long, conference table. And I played like 5 different songs. And when I did Billie Jean, I was like, all right, cool. So then also, I do this Billie Jean cover. And, they're like, no, you're not going to sing Michael Jackson. And I was like, yeah, well, check it out. As soon as I was done, they're like, it's the only thing you're allowed to play at these visits. Play your original songs, you're playing that cover. And so then flash forward, Amazon they pick a few artists a year to do an exclusive release with them for a single, and it has to be a cover. And so we did Billie Jean. And then so it was an Amazon exclusive for a year, and then after that it ended up being on everything. But yeah, we played it on the road forever. I mean, crushes. It's awesome. It's fun. People love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a cover for this side B because like Whiskey Go Bad, what I like to say, that fills the spot for my song Feels Like Home from the first album. It's the Feels Like Home of the second album, which is just kind of like an Irish pub country bar song, right? And yeah. And so
John Cassidy's bumping his fist over there. Go ahead.
he's always bumping his fist. And so for this album, I was like, what's the Billie Jean going to be like? What am I going to do? And so I did a cover of Bush, Come Down. I don't want to come back down from this cloud. 16 Stone, the album that came out on, was the first CD I ever bought. And so I wanted to do like an homage to that, like a throwback to that, a nod. And it turned out freaking awesome. It's
I
really
have to ask though, do you moonwalk
No.
during the? Come on, you
Oh, you got to hear it. Have you not heard it?
I'm getting too old. I barely walk.
You name checked a few local places in your new album, and I noticed you did in your other songs. I know I heard the Town Pump.
Yeah.
You talk about going to the pass. Are you talking about the bypass or the pass road through the Sutter Buttes?
But I say going to the pass?
Yeah, you talk about.
What song?
I.
This might be a lyric mix-up. I don't know if I say going to the pass.
So you talk about drinking at the pass. It's a breakup song, I think.
maybe in his past.
No. Yeah, I think you said the pass. Anyway,
It's a breakup song?
Starlight. Starlight.
Starlight, yeah.
Is that a street you grew up on?
Yeah.
Talk about Sunsweet and all that. Feather River. What have I missed?
Yeah, Feather River, Sunsweet, Starlight. Well, that just starts hitting also a bunch of just California things in general.
Yeah.
Like, it talks about Glass Beach Breeze,
Oh, it's on Glass Beach, yeah.
Fort
yeah.
Bragg.
You got Clear Lake and Napa Valley. I get those. Yeah, I forgot about Glass Beach. These are just experiences, growing
Yeah,
up and
that,
and getting to
I
drop
think there's
them
another one that was like right around here. Never been to my hometown. Smelled the peaches in the air, seen the mountains for miles.
Yeah.
Something's telling me right now. Smile, left turn on Starlight Lane. Every little good I get to taste that Golden State dripping off of your skin.
Where's Starlight? I meant to look it up on a map.
It's south. It's over by like Lindcrest School.
Oh.
Like Lincoln and 99, basically. Where did I say the pass?
I went back.
Now you gotta go look that
no,
up.
No. I was listening. I was trying to listen all day yesterday. I kept going back to it. I kept going, where did I hear that?
My song from the first album, "Still Love You," is about my ex that was from here, but the song is actually about the Happy Viking when it talks about seeing an ex in a bar, because she didn't like to go to bars. She hated bars and stuff, and every once in a while she'd go out with me and my friends, whatnot, but like hated it if I would always be at the Viking. And then one day after we broke up, I saw her there with her friends at the Viking. I was like, this is my place. Like, what is this?
The nerve.
Yeah, the nerve. In California Grown, it talks about the town pump, sneaking in through the back door, getting to
Yes.
play. That was my rock band. They got that record deal when I was 19, because we would always play at Town Pump, and we would sneak our friends in through the back door so they could watch the show. And these flies love me. Pass. I spent a lot of time on Pass Road, though, always driving through the Buttes and stuff, or at least the border of the Buttes. But I was on Pass Road yesterday.
I'll find it. I'll remember what is this.
So we want to
we
talk
the
about
event.
this
Yeah.
because that's coming up real soon, August 21st.
Yeah.
And, it'd be really, besides the fact that they get to hear your music, that's important, right? But I love it when things like this are supportive. I mean, I have a nonprofit. I've been involved in nonprofits forever, and you've got TIP, and you got what's the
It's the Enterprise Rancheria Community Fund.
Enterprise Rancheria. You've got the rescue. All of this has to do with things that go on in the community, and even though I'm grateful that you're willing to come back and do this, and Cassidy really owes you. I don't know. It's like, I'm going to go on record. Cassidy owes him. Right?
I'll take $100.
A lot.
I'll take $100.
Well, look how much joy you bring to Shasta County when you go play up there.
So, but the thing is, it's like you get to come home here, right? And then you get to do something that even like Rich's Rescues, right? You get to do something that you believe in.
Yeah.
It's not just, I'm going to go play a concert, right? It's, I believe in this. I believe in this community. I grew up here, right? I had in my mind, I refuse to call you a local boy. I refuse to do, you're a local man. You grew up. You get to
Thank you.
Or for California, you're a local dude.
Yeah.
You can be either one, right? But this has got to be just a thrill for you, Tyler, to do what your heart likes to do. And I'm excited for you getting the freedom to write. I can't wait to see what you come up with. But doing this, and even though you won't moonwalk, I'm excited about the concert.
You might have a surprise.
Just
We'll see.
So just invite everybody.
Yeah, I've
from you.
got July 28th until August 21st to learn how to moonwalk, which is
Maybe
not
Cassidy
enough time. Which is not enough time. But my friends at Ariel Jean and DJ Ness are going to be opening the show. It is a different type of show than usual because there is a DJ ahead of time. So it is going to be a party. It's always a party, but it's going to be a party at first. It's not going to be, sitting, getting ready, watching the first bands. It's already going to be a DJ, getting people pumped, excited, and dancing. There is actually going to be a small pit this year as well. It's not just going to be seats. So there is some standing room up front.
John's over there pumping his fist again.
Feel free to moonwalk or mosh pit. It's
John will be diving.
Yeah. If Cassidy is not crowd surfing, I'm not coming back.
You'll moonwalk if he'll crowd surf.
Yes, absolutely. 100%. And then, Ariel Jean, she's local, I believe, to like Sacramento area. We've actually done a couple shows together in the past. And, it's the best night of the year in the community. And last year, it sold out for the first time. This year, obviously, we're hoping it sells out again. But because there is a pit, there's even more tickets to sell. Which means tell your friends, get your tickets, come party with us. And see you there. Hard Rock Live.
Yeah.
Wheatland, California, August 21st.
And watch John Cassidy crowd surf. This could be a first in our area.
It was really nice.
I will moonwalk to catch you.
It was really nice of you to come here to promote John Cassidy.
Yeah.
It was just really, really nice.
We started this with a 2-word question.
Yeah, it was a
John
2-word
Cassidy.
question,
Well, Tyler, thanks so much, man, for doing this. This
Appreciate
is
it.
awesome.
Thanks, brother.
And we just want to say how much we appreciate this. I'm not saying local boy does good. Local dude does good. Local man does good. Let's let Tyler grow up, even if he moonwalks.
Don't let me grow up, please.
All right. Thanks for watching August 21st, the event with Tyler Rich. Man, this is an opportunity to support the community. It's very important for 4 nonprofits. It's very important for us as a community to come together and let's, welcome Tyler back for the 12th time?
9th time.
9th time.
Ninth time.
I'm looking at 12. He'll get an even dozen before it's over. So go to Hard Rock Live and get your tickets. There are going to be some extra tickets available because they've opened up the bottom. But this is Fish saying, man, I'll see you there. I just got photobombed.